Welcome. You've splash landed into this Prosecco-laden podcast, straight into the woo-woo pool with the crew of Ohm-g. We're just a simple group of tragically imperfect and highly empathic BFFs, exploring a wide range of atypical topics with humor, grace, and curiosity. This is Ohm-g.
Hello, and welcome back. This is not the sexy, sultry voice of our friend Chameleonaire. She's a little under the weather with the full moon fever. However, we do have a slightly modified group of the Ohm-g podcast today. And those of you who have been listeners know that we do like big decks. We cannot lie. And so today, we've decided, myself, Aaron, Rosalie, Brenda, and Kachandra, to ask a question to an oracle card deck, and each of us pull a card and see what kind of answers we get for the same questions, as well as talk about how we use oracle cards as a tool for our intuitive development and energy work. You're here live with the crew of Ohm-g, the podcast. Welcome back, guys. So, Brenda, as always, we're up in your attic, girl, and we're sitting here with your library of decks. So would you like to tell the listeners what deck we pulled from and what kind of question we asked?
We got my glasses on, y'all.
Shaman's Dream Oracle by Alberto Villaldo and Colette Barron-Reed.
Yeah, this is a deck that I've had for a little while now, and it's a favorite deck. I do have favorites, you know.
As we all do.
Yes.
It's nice and thick, and it's big, and they're really pretty.
Oh my, the heat in this attic right now, Brenda Sue.
That must be why the dogs are panting.
It's got to be. And the artwork's very cute, too, for each of the cards.
Yeah.
It's very shamanic and dreamlike. It's very dreamlike, the imagery on the cards.
Yes.
So, Chandra, tell us what we're asking the cards today.
So what we thought we would do is have everybody ask the same question, but for themselves. So what we've done is we have asked the Oracle deck, what is the energy around the next 6 months for Chandra? Aaron asks for Aaron. Rosalie asks for Rosalie. Brenda asks for Brenda. Because we figured it would be really interesting to see how, because we are so connected in the podcast and as friends outside of the podcast, to see how different these are going to be.
Yeah.
For each one of us. So we just thought that would be really interesting to find out.
Yeah.
And as of right now, none of us know what our cards say to each other either.
Right.
Like, I know what mine says, but I don't know what Chandra Rowe or Brenda says. So I'm excited to see how this pans out.
And I also thought that we could say what we think the card means for us, but then I'd like to hear what you think it means for me.
Ooh,
and what Rosalie thinks it means for me.
Our intuitive hits, like what we get.
Absolutely.
I like that.
So if any of you listeners out there, check out Chandra and I on Woo Woo Wisdom. We do a live at 11 a.m. on Friday, Eastern Standard Time. And we do oracle card readings for people who tune into the show. And the lovely Rosalie is our moderator, yeah, and she helps us field the questions. So if you're listening to this today and you don't know that we do that, check us out on the social media. And we really enjoy creating a story through the oracle deck. It creates, the story of the answer if spirit talks through the cards. Same as any other divination tool,
And if for some reason you can't make the live, they are recorded and uploaded to our Instagram page at Ohm-g Podcast. So you can kind of see how, a reading session works for you guys. They're very entertaining to watch.
And you can always DM us a question ahead of time and we'll read it live and then you can watch the replay. So you don't have to be live to get a reading.
And they're also on the YouTubes.
They're on the
YouTube channel.
And they're on the Facebooks.
Look at us, y'all. Everywhere but Twitter. I'm just kidding.
So technical. Not.
I'm trying.
All right. Yeah. Who would like to reveal their card first?
But do you want to go first since you've got the book?
We'll go first. Okay. So I asked the deck, what is the energy around the next 6 months for Chandra? And the card that I pulled is Dances on One Foot, Balancing Act.
Interesting.
And was just looking in the book to see if it resonated with what I felt when I looked at the card. And it's talking about if you're pulling if you're pulling too much effort into managing your life, work, relationships, family, and digital media, you're missing the point. You have to be dancing while juggling your entire life, knowing that at any time, half of it is going to be up in the air. You will never be fully prepared for all the challenges in life, but you can be ready to say yes to new innovation of the universe, to new innovation the universe offers you. I can't read today. Live in the state of yes. So I thought that was very beautiful. And that's the kind of like the overall feeling that I've had lately is I feel like there's been like a wall lifted and I've been able to do this and do this thing and do this thing that I haven't had the motivation or the effort to put into it before. So I definitely feel that energy.
So for me, I think the intuitive hit that I get on that is don't fall over, girl. No, just kidding. You got to balance on one foot. But the
she knows
feeling,
I love the Prosecco, so it's possible.
So the feeling I get from that is like you're going to have to balance things. I feel like you're going to have so much going on and so many ideas. So you're going to have to balance between doing the things and also enjoying life a little bit. Don't get too caught up in the whole work of everything. Remember to enjoy life too. That's what that card, like, I feel like the next 6 months is going to be crazy busy.
Yeah.
But don't forget to enjoy life.
Mm-hmm. That's a similar intuitive hit to what I got. I've heard as you were reading, remember to have fun. So I think there's going to be a lot of like exciting new opportunities that come your way within the next 6 months. Business wise, podcast wise, writer wise, you wear all the hats, girl. But I think in taking all these opportunities, like, you know, they're exciting and they're fun and they're ways to be creative, but also to remember to have fun with them and not just focus on like, is this detail perfect in this, or is this the right?
Get out of my head.
Yeah, I know, girl. Yeah, so I just got have fun with it.
Yeah, the standing on the one foot is a balancing act. In my head, I saw a set of scales. Mm-hmm. So you put little here, but keep the balance. And like I said, have fun with it. Don't get overwhelmed. And if you do step back, say, whoa, this might be a little too much right now.
No, you guys
take a break.
Hit it exactly on the head. I've got so many ideas and so many things that I want to do. And I would get mired up in the details. And then I would get overwhelmed, which would just make me double down.
And not want to do any of it.
Right. And and forego other things to get this thing accomplished so it's not overwhelming me anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So overwhelm came to my mind too. Like don't let it get to the overwhelm point.
Yes.
You have permission to walk away before it gets there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thank you, Spirit.
That's awesome.
Yes. I'm excited for you. Well, I'll go next since I got the book. So I pulled a card that says the benefactor, and it has two really cute little mice that have fairy wings and crowns on them, and they're sitting in a little mushroom and they just look really happy. I don't really like mice, to be honest, or rats or things like that with tails. So that maybe that's some kind of message is supposed to come through, but it says grace and generosity. And intuitively, I immediately got being more gracious and generous with myself, because I feel like I generally am with others. And so the book says, when you consult the good word, it says benefactor, grace, generosity, gifts, support, and mentoring. And it says, when the benefactor weaves her energy into your life, you're put on notice that all manner of positive reinforcement is coming your way. The universe wants to let you know that just as you have been generous with others, serving with your gifts even in the smallest capacity, so will you be rewarded in a myriad of ways. The most beautiful gift the benefactor gives you is the recognition that you are stewarding and sharing abundance on behalf of a higher source, one that is always working through you. The motives for her generosity to you, as well as yours to others, are intangible, although you will see the results reflected in the material world. The benefactor reminds you that it's in the purity of your desire to share without the need for reciprocity that, paradoxically, your initial generosity is reciprocated tenfold. God, say that sentence 10 times fast. Seemingly without any connection to the original act. Dream sharing and caring into being, and you will be amazed to see this vibrant seed take root and spread. Do it just because, and the benefactor will give you her blessing.
Yeah, I feel like that has a lot to do with like all the good things that you put out is all going to come back to you. So all of the good karma that you put out. You're going to get a lot of support from people around you. So I don't know if you're going to go through the next 6 months of where you're going to need more support from people, but I feel like it's going to be readily available because of what you have put out into the world. So, the summer's coming up and you're going to have the summer off from teaching. And I believe that you wanted to focus more on writing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
So maybe you're going to get some sort of mentor to help you with that process of what the next steps are and how to work through challenges that come up and that kind of thing.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. So just keep your eyeballs peeled.
Yeah. Do it just because.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brenda Sue.
That's interesting because I got something.
Really? Do tell.
I see you as the benefactor because your kids are so interested in your life. They stalk you outside of school.
They do.
And they don't really do that with any other teachers. It's because they know that you resonate with them, so strongly. And I mean, think about all the seeds that you're planting right now in every one of them. Okay. It's 10 years from now.
Yeah.
You're going to see all these lovely people that that you influence. So
That's
we
very
hope.
Sweet.
Yeah, we hope.
Yeah.
We hope for the
future.
Yes, I know. I hope y'all turn into flowers instead of little weeds because y'all worry me.
But I also got the feeling that, I know, things that are going on with the current school year, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So you're going to, in 4 months, come up with a brand new crop of children. So I feel like there was something that you read in the book that made me feel like there's going to be one kid next year. There's going to be your special one kid next year.
I hope so. Thank you,
Could be a
Chandra.
myriad of things.
Myriad? A myriad.
It might be a myriad, y'all.
I like that.
It's a whole new thing, the myriad. All right.
Thank you, Chandra.
What did you get, Rosalie, for
Aaron?
Aaron's message?
The grace and generosity. I got do that for yourself. Be generous with yourself and offer yourself that grace that you give to others. Don't forget you.
Yeah.
Because you need to keep the chalice full.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I love chalice.
Well,
What a
the
fun word.
mice in the picture are sitting in a mushroom, and it looks like they're sitting in a chalice because the
It
mushroom's
does.
curved up. So
It cups up the top.
it just, like, you're the vessel, you're the chalice.
Yeah. Oh,
In
thank
order to
you.
continue being that benefactor, you have to replenish
Mhm.
yourself. So be good to yourself.
Especially this
Do those
summer.
things that you love.
Yeah. Bro, thank you all.
The summer of Aaron.
Yes.
Great. I think this is a great time to finish our beverages and take a short break for our sponsor. And sure.
We love you today.
We love you, Tavain, and we will be back in a few minutes. All right, guys. About the card that she pulled.
So I got the crossing initiation, a rite of passage. So interesting that this card came up because I did a third eye opening ceremony yesterday, and that was definitely initiation. So, but the image that here is a circle of light, and there's all this light coming out of this cave, and there's a fog, and it's a stone bridge going to that cave. And caves are an interesting thing for me as well, because when I did a hypnosis thing, I had journeyed into a cave, but that cave was black darkness. And I did not want to go any further into that cave. But this image here is a cave of light. So maybe I've come to that
tipping point.
Where the darkness is going and I'm walking into the light from whatever, I guess, shadow work that I was doing. So, but the book says here, you've come to stand on one side of the river. The opposite bank leads into the darkness of the eternal cave, where the old dies and then born again. This is a place where time is forgotten and the seasons cease their dance and stand still, as if in temporary repose. You must cross the river now, honoring and respecting this transition, for it's time to say goodbye to your old ways of navigating the world.
Wow.
So that's, yeah. I didn't, before I said what I said earlier about the dark cave and the light cave. Yeah, I hadn't read this thing in the book. So it says, don't be afraid. Jump in, cross that river.
Intuitively, I got this image of you dancing in your backyard in the autumn. Like, I feel like this fall is going to be your season. I don't know if it's like creative or personal or professional or, with your relationships or what it is, but I feel like this fall you're going to like step into like not a new version of yourself, but a reinvented Ro.
Yeah, I got the feeling that it's a time of overcoming a lot of fears and really going for what you want instead of allowing other people's thoughts or feelings to hold you back. So I feel like this is transformative. You've been facing fears and you've been doing the thing anyway. So the more and more that you step into that, the more you're going to go into the place where you see the light, just the unknown.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brenda.
What initially came up for me was know that you've been dealing with, but the way that your intuition comes in, very much a channeler, it comes in through your body. You get these feelings or you start moving in a certain direction, but you don't really know what that means. Mm-hmm. And I know it frustrates you to no end. So you want the clairs to come online that'll give you the meanings to why you sway left to right or why you sway in a circle or why your hands start doing these certain movements when you sense certain energies.
Why am I a human pendulum?
Right. And what is it trying to tell me?
Right.
Yeah. So I felt like with initiation and like even the stuff that we did yesterday with the third eye, I feel like it's kind of like your initiation into the other side of the woo. I feel like some of the other intuitive languages are going to start coming online for you a little bit more, and you're going to start understanding what's coming in a little bit more.
Thank you.
And
I hope so.
You've definitely y'all know we go out and walk in the woods. Well, I don't know if you know, but we do. Rosalie and I. And she started out with like her body being the human pendulum, and it's increased so much more, not the human pendulum part, but other parts of it, like getting messages and songs coming to mind that were answers to things that we were going through out there. So you're definitely progressing on your path. And usually, that kind of shit never happens the way you want it to. You want it to be instantaneous and like, I know exactly what I saw, what I felt. But I don't know that it's that way for anybody.
No.
It's kind of like that losing or gaining weight thing. You see yourself in the mirror every day.
Right.
So you really don't notice until it's noticeable. Mm-hmm. Right. So, and I think it's the same way with like intuition. You these little things kind of build up, and then all of a sudden one day you're going to sit back and you go, holy crap, I'm seeing shit and I'm hearing shit and I've never done that before. Even though you've been working on it and coming up to it all along, it's going to feel like it was, wow, the
switch went
finally, off. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The switch finally went off and it's finally do this.
Yeah, I feel like you're leveling up. I think that Ro is going to roll on into the cave of light, girl.
And that initiation card, I love that card in that deck. It's like that in-between space of the past is behind you, but you haven't quite made it to the next part. And you're in that kind of void area where, it's unstable below you. Like if you look at the card, it's like a drop off and it's like a thin bridge that goes over to the other side. So being in the midst of that in-between space can be really scary when you don't know what's coming next.
Yeah.
And you can't go back on the bridge because, you can't go back. So it's just to keep moving forward and keep doing those things and keep overcoming those things. So I love that, Ro.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks, guys.
What'd you get, Brenda Sue?
So I pulled the number 5 card, which is the closing door.
Ooh.
It's about completions.
Mm.
And the book says, when the closing door shows up, it's a call to recognize an ending, to terminate a relationship, job, task, or situation that has been dragging on far too long. Chandra, you shut your mouth over there. I see you.
She's literally shutting her hands over her mouth.
Unlock the cage you have been trapped in and shut the door behind you. This is not the time to worry about what others might think or feel. Instead, break with routine, consider what you think and how you feel, and be true to your heart's calling. It's time to walk out the door. If you do not see a door, but only a solid wall in front of you, ask for assistance. Muster the courage to say no more. Remember as well, that no one else needs to be wrong in order for you to do what you've known you needed to do for a long time.
So Chandra's going to go first. Oh, just a reading. Sorry.
I'm not done yet, honey. If the door to a project or relationship has been closed to you, stop knocking on it. You've tried that already and no one answered, at least not in the way you would have liked. Take that as a gift, difficult and painful as it might be, and move on. Every door that shuts is an invitation to find another way, another path to your destination. Bow deeply before that closed door, give thanks to the lessons, and set yourself free. And that's really funny, that last sentence, because I was reflecting on that on my walk yesterday, of thinking about the things that haven't worked out, that I've tried that haven't worked, and then what are the lessons behind it? Because I think I pulled a card for myself while I was out on the walk, and it talked about knowing the lesson behind the things that happen. And so I was doing a lot of reflection on probably shadow aspects of myself, things that I don't see in myself, but have been brought to my attention. But yeah, trying to learn the lesson in those things. And I feel this like completions and like I'm at the end of a phase and it's time to begin a new one. And yeah, just don't know how it's all going to pan out yet.
Well,
So Camille, Chandra, you got something to say. I can tell.
Well, that's true. We don't know how it's going to pan out, but that's the part of surrender and faith that comes with spiritual work and spiritual journey. It's like, because it's not going to happen until they're not going to show you the bridge until you take the first step off the cliff.
Yeah.
Because unless you show them that you're going to step off the cliff, why are they going to expend the energy to build the bridge? You have to take that quote unquote leap of faith. You have to take that one first action that tells spirit, okay, I'm all in. The reason that I had such a reaction to that card was my husband and I went out of town for a couple of days this past week. And on the drive home, I was riding shotgun. And as one does, I was playing with my oracle cards, of course, and asked a couple of questions, pulled a couple of different cards for different things. And one of the cards, it was something that Brenda and I had talked about before. And so Brenda came to my mind and I heard, you need to ask Brenda this question. Is she ready to double down? And I was like, okay.
Spirit's sassy today.
I'm scared, y'all. I'm scared.
So I felt like there were two different parts to what you read in the book. There was I felt like the first part was kind of like lifestyle. It was more about career choices, financial abundance,
right?
All that. And then there was definitely a second part there where I felt like it was more relationship, maybe familial type things. So I really felt like there were the same message, but in two different places in your life.
Yeah, I concur. Cheers to that. Yeah, what I intuitively got from it was, Brenda's not one to share her age because she just had the 10th anniversary of her 21st birthday, something like that. Just kidding. Yes, she's the big 50 girl. And so I got that this was as cliche as it sounds, like a closing of the chapter of your 40s, but I think within that there's a lot of routines and patterns and maybe identities that you've had throughout your whole life, but that have really kind of weighed down on you throughout your 30s and 40s, like the obligation of being a mom or a spouse or a partner or a daughter or whatever, an energy worker, healer, friend, etc. And that I feel like your 50s are they're going to be the shit. I just got this, if you take this first step into whatever direction you're feeling pulled in, no, we don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I don't think that matters. I think that it's just the universe has your back, and as easier said than done, right? Of course, we're if you want to quit your job and sell your belongings, go travel the country, the universe has my back. And it's okay, yeah, but are you going to file bankruptcy? So, anyways, I digress. But I think that you're closing this chapter of your life of being identified with a lot of things that no longer serve you, and that you're really girl, you powerful as hell, but girl, you're I feel within the next 6 months even are going to be stepping into your power.
I feel that too. And I felt like my 50s are I'm going to be coming out. Like in my
Oh,
50s.
she want the world to know.
Just Chandler. You said something about this next decade. And in my head, I thought freedom 50s.
Yes,
And you
100%.
set yourself free from a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
The
I
chill.
think it's going to be ridiculous.
Yes.
Let that freak
Yes.
flag fly, baby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Be silly, ridiculous, whatever I want to be. Not
No, because you don't. That's another thing I just got. You don't need anyone's approval.
No.
You never have.
just look like
Oh, I know.
we do as human beings.
Yeah.
So the door closing, when I saw the image, it reminded me of that one day we were walking in the woods and you heard a large door slam, like a gigantic metal door slamming in the woods. And you just stopped dead in your tracks and you're like, bro, did you hear that? And I was like, no, I'm sorry, but I believe you.
She's
No.
that supportive friend.
I know. I didn't hear it, but I know she heard it because of the reaction. I mean, I saw her react to it, and that hearing is not one of my gifts at this point, but that's what it reminded me of. That was that door shutting in the woods. But 50, I know for me, was a big life-changing event. You're halfway through. If you can make it to 100, you're halfway through. You're halfway there. But yeah, I think you're going to leave that muggle job soon. Yeah. And you're going to be fully you, doing what you want to do. And now's the time to take that leap. Bam.
Yeah. I just I covered my mouth as well. We clutched our pearls when she said that about the door, because the door didn't even register with me. And maybe this is supposed to be for you because it didn't really mean anything for me at the time. I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to later. But the other night, in the middle of the night, I was dreaming, and I don't remember the dream, but I heard 3 knocks on our front door, boom, 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 loud knocks, right? And so I woke up, and our dogs are asleep, my husband's asleep,
Everything as it should be.
ain't nobody knocking because we live out in the country now, y'all. So if somebody's knocking, it's bad. But anyways, and so I looked at my phone, I just opened it up, and I have the little widget at the top that's CoStar. So it had already, it's my horoscope for the next day, basically. And it was 3:01 a.m. and all it said was open up.
Wow. Wowzer.
Isn't that
Wow.
wild? So I don't know if that does anything for
3
you.
a.m., the witching hour.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And they were knocking on the door.
They're knocking on my door, girl. Open up.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Some powerful.
It was
I kind of, which we have another episode about Simon.
Erin has acquired a guide named Simon, and he's actually visited several other of us on Erin's behalf. So it's been pretty wild. We'll have to do an episode on.
I feel like it's going to be called Simon Says. I know.
We can't make
this stuff up.
We really can't.
We can't.
Yeah, we'll have to get Lynn here, and we'll have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shortly. All right, you guys. So thank you for joining us talking about Oracle cards. And we will put a link to the card deck that we used today because it's one of my very favorite decks.
Oh, it's just, she was using this in Woo Woo Wisdom the other week, and I was seeing some of the imagery of the cards, and they're beyond description. They're beautiful.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, so if you like this content, make sure to go on to Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, and leave us a review because it helps us to more people. Right? Podcast.
If you want to interact with us, find us on Facebook and on Instagram, where we do post a lot of our upcoming events, and as well as Woo Woo Wisdom and episodes. Find us there.
If you feel like anything resonated with you today or any of the episodes that you've listened to so far, please feel free to share them with friends or family members that you think it might resonate with them as well. This is part of why we're doing what we're doing. It's to create community, and we appreciate you for being a part of it.
Guys, till next time.
Peace out.
Peace out. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us today. Please follow and subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and leave a review. It's so easy to do and such a huge help for us. We appreciate your interactions so much. Want to join us at our table? Make sure to check out our YouTube channel and join our Facebook community. If you've enjoyed this content and wish to support us, take a look at our Patreon page. All information and links will be in our podcast description. Catch you next time.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM. Women's voices amplified.